Good morning, Uganda. Good morning, CPAs. Welcome back from last night's match that saw us, the Gunners, make it to the finals, isn't it? Yeah. The elephant is in the room today, and it is going to jubilate. Okay, it is time now for us to commence on day one of our fourth Public Finance Management Conference, which we always hold on an annual basis. So the theme for this conference is strengthening public finance management for sustainable national development. So it's going to be 3 days as usual, and expect to hear from the best presenters around. Expect to have serious discussions around the theme. Expect to network and expect to have fun. So I promise you a 3-day fulfilling with what we promise to give you. My name is CPA Rehema Nachirembe, also called Nalongo or Twin Mother, and I'm going to be the Director of Ceremonies for the day. To kickstart the day, we are going to start with a word of prayer from our very own Pastor Nasuna Caroline. So let's welcome our Pastor Nasuna Caroline as Miss Lydia to see the ICPAU prepares to come and give us.
Father, we thank you for you have given us journey mercies to get to this place. I want to thank you for the people who are still traveling. We believe that they'll reach here safely. Father, we want to pray that you may bless us as we start this conference. We pray that all the deliberations that are going to take place may be for the good of the Institute, for the good of the country, and for the good of each one of us. Father, we pray that you may give us a successful conference until Friday. In Jesus' name we've prayed.
Pastor Caroline, CPA Lydia Tusime, please come and take the participants through what they need to do when it comes to maneuvering the gadgets. Thank you.
Thank you, MC. A very good morning, our dear participants. Regarding digital, we have made some innovations, and as you can see, you've not received the physical copies of the magazine. This followed our launch of the sustainability roadmap last year, and we want to walk the talk regarding ESG and preserving our environment. And so it's a very deliberate move that we took to see that we reduce on the paper one in the room and please use that to keep track of the program, the presenters, and all other details. So to access this magazine, you're going to use the QR code at the back of your card for those that are here physically. But for those online, this has been shared to your respective emails. And then still for those in the room, you can look around the room. We do have different banners that reflect the QR code. But as we transition, we will also see that the banners will fade away with time, being a new introduction. And so we've also put together the event Slido for you to interact with us and the presenters and on the different topics. Please use the same QR code to access this. And even for the event photographs, for you to access the photographs for the whole event, you'll use the same QR code. So when you open it, it will give you different components. There will be one on the event magazine, the photographs for you to access, and then a Slido for you to interact with us by giving comments, questions that will be addressed at the different sessions. And then for digital engagement, we have brought back the tweet beam. As you can see on our screen on my right, we're going to be projecting engagement on our event hashtag, which is for ICPAU PFM Conf, CONF. That is our event hashtag. I'm going to just repeat it. It's hashtag for ICPAU PFM conference, the short form of conference, CONF. So please follow that hashtag and be part of the conversation. We don't want the conversation to remain in the room. We believe public finance management is something that cuts across through the different sectors of the economy. So, and we believe that you are the right people to talk about issues that shape public finance management. So we need your expertise as you engage with our the discussion online. And we're going to have some recognition for members, participants that have the most tweets and retweets or mentions of our hashtag. So please do engage with our hashtag. Relatedly, we do have an arrangement for you to get very nice profile pictures with our official event photographer who is in the room, Brian. His hand is up. So for those that feel like you need to update your profile picture to suit the kind of status that you're in, please utilize this opportunity so that you update your profile pictures. But this will also help us as we are looking out for speakers for different events, because we do struggle to get very good pictures when we reach out to some of you to either come in as facilitators for trainings and as speakers on different topics. So this is an opportunity that you should utilize. It's really voluntary for those interested. There's a very small fee. Please reach out to Brian to get for you very nice pictures. As I conclude, I'll just re-echo that we are having Tweet Beam. We're going to be projecting all the tweets, all the comments that come through our hashtag, and we're going to be tracking members that will give us the most engagement for some prizes during our entertainment session. I hand over to the event MC. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Manager Business Development, Tusime. Just about now, we are going to have, meanwhile, we've shared the program with you digitally. Okay, we are going green, and so you may realize you don't have the magazines, the usual magazines in your bags, but these have been shared digitally on your emails. So the program is available for us there. Next on the program is going to be CPA Susan Tega Chamanywa, Manager Standards, who is getting ready to give us a brief from the Secretariat. The Secretariat is the team that basically puts together each and everything that we do for the accountancy profession. So these people are so pivotal to the success of our profession. Let us appreciate them by giving them a round of applause. Secretariat, we appreciate the work that you do for us. We appreciate the time you put in, especially when it comes to events. We only come in for us at the Events Management Committee to guide, but the decision, the operational work is done by this team. So from the standards, we have CPA Susan Tega Chamanywa to give us some of the highlights of what is happening. Let's welcome Susan to the podium.
Thank you, Rema. Good morning, members, and welcome to Pfm Conference. As indicated, I'm Susan Chamanywa, Manager Quality Assurance and Regulation, and I'm going to take us briefly through the Directorate does, and a brief updates. So my focus the Directorate regulatory framework that's applicable in the country, and then a bit of the sustainability roadmap. So to begin with, I'll take us through how the Directorate is constituted. Our Directorate is headed by Director, Standards and Regulation, and then we have three units, three departments. We have the Standards and Technical Support Department, which is headed by a manager, and then we have the Quality Assurance and Regulation Department that are ahead, and then we have the Investigations and Discipline, but we have a shared admin staff. So in terms of numbers, we are gender sensitive, 9 ladies and 5 men. Yes, you know, it's rare. In most places, it's the number of men is higher, but in our case, the ladies are more than the men. So we have senior officers in each department, and officers for their different roles as outlined in that. So the Directorate supports the Council and its committees. We have a number of committees that we support. We support the Quality Assurance Board. We support the Disciplinary Committee, the Disciplinary Appeals Committee, the Elections Committee, the Financial Reporting Awards Committee, that's FIRE Awards, and several working groups, including the Public Sector Accounting Working Group, Financial Sector Working Group, the IFRS for the non-profit organizations working group, the Uganda Integrated Reporting Committee. We also support the Professional Standards Committee. This committee has several panels, including the Public Practice Panel, Public Sector Panel, the Accountants in Industry and Business Panel, and then the Taxation and Economic Policy Panel. But this mandate we get from the Accountants Act, Cap 294. If you read from sections F to K, that's where this directorate gets the mandate. What are our key roles? Our key roles in the directorate, as outlined in different departments. For the Quality Assurance Department, we handle the inspections and licensing, CPD compliance. Actually, CPD compliance, maybe I can add some more because this is the season that we've been sending out our CPD reports to the members that we have reviewed. We normally do this using a risk-based approach where we sample our members and we review your compliance with the CPDs. The response we've been getting this time is that a majority of the members believe that once they come, sit here and attend a conference or a workshop or a training, automatically they've met their obligation. But if you read the regulations, Accountants Regulations 2024, you will notice that you have an obligation to file your return annually. So that's why we have gotten a lot of feedback from members. When you give them the report that you did not file, they say, but I've been attending. Can I come to your place and for you to know that I've been attending? But really, if you read the law, you'll understand that it's your obligation to maintain a record of your CPD and also file it annually. So the department also handles the anti-money laundering inspections. Under the AMLA, that's the Anti-Money Laundering Act. ISPAU is the supervisor for the accountants, and so we have a role to supervise the accountants' compliance with the AML laws. We are also in charge of the Quality Assurance Department is also in charge of the practice regulation. So we handle the licensing, the review of the quality. So it's all in that department. The other department is the Standards and Technical Support Department, which is headed by a manager. And the role is to support in the development and implementation of standards. They also support the public sector and the Pfm reforms, taxation and economic policy. Okay. Also, the institute research lies in this department, and also commentaries on the government bills and regulations is conducted in this, and also practice support. Because we have to maintain that independence, for us, we shall come and do the review and we give feedback. So if any practitioner or any firm requires support, it is the Standards and Technical Support Department that provides that support. Then we have the Investigations and Discipline, who look at illegal practices, if there are issues where people are practicing illegally without being licensed. Then this department also handles the investigation and discipline of members. We have a role under the statements of membership obligations, that's the SMOs. And our directorate actually plays a role in all the SMOs, the 7 SMOs. I believe we all know this, with the best of the SMOs being the education. So our role here is that we give commentaries on the NLOs on the SMO2, but we also look at each of those SMOs to ensure that our members are complying with the requirements of all the SMOs. Now for the SMO1, this is a major SMO that is undertaken by the Quality Assurance Department to see that our practitioners are complying with the required standards. So when we move on to, okay, the SMOs, these SMOs, we have a direct obligation under all the SMOs other than one SMO, the IPSAS, which is where we have a shared role with the Accountant General's Office. So SMOs, a PAO either has a direct responsibility, shared role, or no responsibility. But in our case, we don't have any SMO where we have no responsibility. I just wanted to bring this up. And now the regulatory framework, we needed to highlight a bit of regulatory framework for members to know the standards that are applicable in Uganda and when they were adopted. So we have the IFRSs. We indicate the issuing body, the IASB, and the year of that the institute adopted it, which is, this one is for 98, and the mode of publication, details are given in this table. And now the last 3 standards, the sustainability disclosure standards, the ISAs for the less complex entities, and the global internal audit standards. Publication is yet to be made, but I'm sure it will be made soon to indicate that we have adopted this. So the major highlights of what we have done, the different departments in the directorate, and things we are planning to do, is on this slide. So currently we do the quality reviews in cycles, and we have so far completed 5 cycles, and currently we are doing the 6th cycle, which we began in November 2024. So we are handling the CPD compliance. This I've talked about extensively, but we also do thematic reviews. We select specific standards to see how our members, our practitioners, are implementing the requirements. Currently, we are conducting a thematic review on the IFRS 15, that's revenue contracts with customers. So we are undertaking this, and we shall have a report which we shall table at the Professional Science Committee to see the level of uptake of this standard by our members. We are also we are emphasizing the implementation of the root cause analysis as required by the ISQM, because this is important in order for us to see that our farms improve quality. So it's an area of emphasis during this cycle. But also we are undertaking a mentorship program for all farms that do not perform well. So there's a mentorship program going on. To all this is for us to see that we actually improve the quality of our practices. And then we have sanction guidelines. This was approved by the Quality Assurance Board, and we have started to implement it, in which where practices have performed badly, they will go through sanctioning procedures. It is a big guideline, which is we are going to expose soon on the website for members to know the procedure, how they will be handled, the administrative penalties and all that, and how they can move on to the disciplinary committee when quality is not good. So under the standards and technical support department, we have the awareness on the sustainability roadmap. ICPAU announced the adoption of these sustainability reporting standards in 2024, and the roadmap was launched last year, 2025, in September, and currently we are in the voluntary period. We encourage all entities to start checking out their tools to see how their staff are prepared, train their resources, and such that by the time the mandatory period is on, all entities are ready. The first phase of the mandatory period for some entities will be 2028, and we believe if you take and do some in-house reviews during this period, you'll be able to comply come the mandatory dates. Also, the climate-related sustainability reporting standards for the public sector was launched this year, 2026, and as the ICPAU, we are reviewing the standard in order for us to come up with guidance and direction for our public entities. There's also the sustainability reporting standard for assurances, and this will be for our practitioners. It is also up, it was released this year, and we are still reviewing the standard in order for us to guide the practicing accountants to comply with this standard. Then we have the international non-profit accounting standards, the INPAC. The roadmap was, the standard was released last year. So we are also still developing a roadmap to guide the entities. But also we had revised the definition of our public interest entities in Uganda, but we got some feedback. And so we have re-exposed this for members' comments, and deadline for you to give us your comments will be 31st of this month. So please read through and give us comments such that we work on this definition to meet requirements of all our stakeholders. So for other updates, we encourage you to read our monthly e-news. We publish monthly e-news, and I would love to encourage you to read and pick any updates in standards and any other issues around the institute. Also for accountants in business and industry, you need to look out for updates in regarding the cryptocurrencies, AI prompt engineering, for you to be ready such that these do not affect you much. So when I move on to the investigation and discipline department or section, that's in our directory, this is following up on court cases, the number of court cases that ISPO has. So we follow up on those court cases, but we are also finalizing the concluded disciplinary matters, because the disciplinary committee is actually so active currently because there's a lot of litigation going on with our members. We plan disciplinary committee meetings. Normally every month there are issues to handle, but also we do assemble and clearing of the closed files, and also we are planning to finalize the case management platform. We are trying to, there's a platform we have been working on together with our IT as department, and we are trying to finalize that such that we ease the way complaints and come in and cases are handled. But this department also supports the elections committee. So in general, if I'm talking about, we have representations on different accountancy bodies. That's the cross-border representations. Currently, we have CPA Josephine Osia, our past president, chairing the Professional Accountants in Business and Industry Advisory Group of IFAC. We also have CPA Mike Tujetwena representing us on the PAFA Accountancy Quality Advisory Group. There's also CPA Edward Sendiwala, who represents us on the Ethics, Audit and Assurance Technical Advisory Group of PAFA. Those are the highlights I thought I would give. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, CPA Susan Tega. Right about now, we are supposed to have welcome remarks from our own CEO, who is currently not available because he had to go on official duty representing us at the funeral or the burial of the husband of one of our council members. We commensurate with CPA Christine Mugume for the loss of her husband. Okay, so in place of CPA Derek Nkaja is the Director, Standards, CPA Charles Lutimba, who is going to welcome us to the 4th Public Finance Management Conference. A round of applause for CPA Charles Lutimba. You're most welcome.
Thank you so much, Director of Ceremonies. A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, CPAs. That is better. May we kindly stand up and pay a moment of silence for the departed members, our colleagues, our relatives, but most importantly, the husband to our council member. May their souls rest in eternal peace. Thank you. I have been assigned a very simple role, and that is to communicate the CEO's welcome remarks. The welcome remarks had been appended within our booklet, and I will stick to the road as they are in there. I am pleased to welcome you to the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda 4th Public Finance Management Conference. This is a key platform for shaping dialogue on strengthening public finance for sustainable national development. This conference comes at a critical time when the government must adopt innovative approaches to resource utilization, innovative approaches to enhancing efficiency in public expenditure, but also innovative approaches to strengthening accountability systems to meet the growing demands of the economy. ICPAU, ladies and gentlemen, remains committed to contributing to national economic policy and promoting excellency in financial management. Through this conference, we provide a space for knowledge sharing, for professional development, and constructive engagement amongst the different stakeholders that are following. The insights and resolutions generated here will contribute meaningfully to the ongoing policy discussions, but also direction. Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to inform you that as part of the ICPAU mandate, we have continuously engaged with parliamentary sectoral committees. For example, the Sector Committee on Finance, where we shared our position on various matters on the recent tax amendments or tax bills. Through such engagements, our focus is to play a central role in shaping the country's financial but also economic landscape for better development. I wish to encourage all participants to actively engage in the discussions, share your experiences, but also leverage on the networking opportunities that are before us. I extend my sincere appreciation to our esteemed partners. I thank you for supporting and collaborating with the Institute, now and always, in as far as meeting the conference needs that we keep organizing. Ladies and gentlemen, we look forward to more partnerships. The CEO concludes wishing every one of us a fruitful but also impactful conference. Thank you so much.
Okay, my presenters seem to get off guard when they're finalizing, so that's why you see me running through. I don't expect them to wind up that quickly. But here we are, and we are running smoothly on time. According to the program,
Imagine a future
we are going to have a few
and the environment is guided
changes
by clarity, connection, and
in the program.
insight. With
I would
water
like
and
to
environment
announce
management,
that
information
for our
system,
chief guest, who has now been confirmed, is none other than the reigning Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda, that is the Right Honorable Robina Nabanja. She has accepted to grace our function today, and she is going to be our chief guest. She has only requested us that she will be coming in at 2. So that calls for a little adjustment in our program. So what we are going to do, good news, we are going to have an early lunch. Now you're not clapping. Or we don't have lunch at all, eh? So the afternoon session, which is digital transformation as a catalyst for socioeconomic change, that is going to see us, that is going to be done by Dr. Michael Kizito and CPA Frederick Chibedi is going to be pushed to 11. So they will be coming in to replace the key address, the president's address, and then the chief guest opening ceremony. That's ceremony by the chief guest. So because of that switch, we are going to request that we have a very early lunch such that we are all back into the room by 2 to have the chief guest open the ceremony when we have a full room. Tuko pamoja? Ndio. Sawa. Okay, so that's a small announcement we are making. Also, whoever is here and hasn't yet clocked in, please make sure you have received your tag. That is the only way we account for your presence here. That's the only way you will account to your employers who have sent you here as well. And also for purposes of you filing your returns, as the manager has been informing us. So please make sure you click in. I would love to make a few recognitions for some mabingwas in the room. I will start with the president. Well, when I mention these people, please clap for them. We have the presence of our reigning president, that's the 11th president of the ICPAU, CPA Ediom Timothy. Then we also have our 8th president, CPA. He's my father, he's my mentor, and he has mentored most of us here. We are always proud to have you here. Let's welcome our 8th president, CPA Frederick Chibedi. I cannot forget to recognize CPAs that is now going to represent us in Parliament. That's MP-elect for Nyendo Mukundwe, Honorable CPA Sekabira Javira. I need to ask, does Honorable come before CPA or CPA come before Honorable? Honorable comes first. So Honorable CPA Sekabira Javira, you are most welcome. Also, we have CPA Fixon Akonye. That is President Emeritus, Internal Auditor General's Office. You are most welcome. Okay, we have so many CPAs that are going to represent us in Parliament, and I will be giving you that list as and when they come in. We will give them some recognition. At least they give us comfort that we have some very good representation in Parliament. Now, maybe tomorrow we shall not have the ayes win, yet it is the nays that have it. So CPAs who are going to represent us in Parliament, please, all our hopes are in you. Make that change. We need to see it happening. Okay, so going on next is we are going into the topics now, and I'm glad to inform you that both our speaker and our chairperson are all available. The topic is transition from NDP 3 to NDP 4, the successes, challenges, and strategic priorities. And to take us through is going to be Dr. Winnie Nabijo, who will be introduced by the session chair, who I am going to introduce just about now, CPA Rogers Lolika Semakula. As I talk about you, please move to the podium. CPA Rogers Semakula Lolika is a full member of ICPAU in good standing. He has over 25 experience in banking, working in Centenary Bank. In hospitality, he has worked with Nile Hotel International and public finance, where he has worked in Ministry of Works and Transport. He is a practitioner at Roselu and Associates, one of the few firms that uses caseware to audit client books of accounts. Rogers is one of the pioneer students of MAT. He completed ACCA in June 1999 and was among the pioneer graduates of ACCA of November 1999. Rogers holds an MBA in strategic planning from Edinburgh Business School. He is also a student of Financial Modeling Institute of the UK. Outside accounting, Rogers is the head of the Laity of Christ, the King Church in Kampala. That's the one they call Sava Cristo. Not so? So we have a Sava Cristo in our midst today. He headed the team that oversaw the construction of the new church. Rogers is happily married to a woman and is blessed with 4 daughters. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome CPA Rogers Lulika.
Thank you very much, Hajat. Hajat CPA or CPA Hajat, I don't know. I don't know the order. I want to take this opportunity to invite our first speaker, Dr. Winnie Nabido. Doctor, come to the podium.
Also held the roles of Senior M&E Officer at NPA and ACOG Uganda and Lecturer at Makerere University, MOOBS and IUIU. With over 15 years of experience, Dr. Nabido oversees the commissioning of impact evaluations for government policies, programs, and projects. This includes the midterm review of the National Development Plan 3, as well as comprehensive evaluations of the universal primary education, Uganda's decentralization policies, and development financing mechanisms, among others. A wife and a mother, she holds a PhD in economics from Makerere University.
Thank you very much. Dr. Nabido is going to take us through the transition from NDP3 to NDP4. And yesterday they passed the sovereignty bill, so I don't know whether it's going to affect us. But Dr. Nabido, the stage is yours. You're welcome.
A very good morning to you, CPAs, and a very good morning to those who are economists and not CPAs, but CPAs in making, because I see some in the room. I am honored to be standing before you to make this presentation, but I also bring you warm greetings from National Planning Authority. And when I saw this topic and the invitation to come and make this presentation, you just ignited certain feelings in me, and I'll share with you when we did the midterm review of the NDP3, and we shared the performance at 17%. I did not almost lose my job, but I was put to task to open the spreadsheets, to open the system and actually account for the 17%, which I did. And until today, I know that number is one number that keeps being mentioned in the government boardrooms. But I'm here to give you where we are, the journey of government in the implementation of the National Development Plan. So this is just a quick run through of the introduction. What are the NDP3 successes, the challenges along the PFM cycle, the fourth National Development Plan priorities, and what are the implementation reforms in line with the PFM. So I'll run through very fast. So we have, I know all of us are aware, we have the Vision 2040, where we aspire to be a prosperous, modern society in the next 30 years. That is when we had this vision. But actually to have our GDP grow to 580 billion and a per capita target of 9,500. And today, I know one of the things we keep on hearing is the tenfold growth. So the tenfold growth is a 15-year growth strategy that actually actualizes the Vision 2040. But also to actualize the vision, we actually do that using the national development plans. And right now, as of July, last financial year, we embarked on a journey of the NDP4, the National Development Plan 4. All right. So the NDP4 has two critical milestones. One, it is the maiden plan that is going to operationalize the tenfold growth, where we want to be a prosperous country, but also have our GDP grow tenfold, from a $50 billion economy to a 500 billion economy. And also the second thing, it is the plan that marks the end of the SDG, or the Agenda 2030, the Sustainable Development Goals. But what is actually standing out in this presentation, I must also clarify that every NDP is actually building on the successes of the previous plan. So the NDP4 is a successor plan of the NDP3, and actually it aims to address the bottlenecks that challenged us in NDP3, looking forward to have our first step into the tenfold growth. All right. So I want to be able to talk about bullet number 3. So this presentation is going to be structured around the PFM cycle. So we'll be able to discuss or have a conversation about the planning, PFM around planning, around budgeting and financing, implementation, reporting, and then feedback mechanism in terms of the acceleration of reforms required. So we first took, the NDP3 suffered 2 major, challenges. 2020 is when we had the COVID breakdown, and therefore we had a lockdown in 2020. And while we had produced the plan, then we were required to go and revise the plan and integrate how COVID is likely to affect implementation of the plan. In the second year of the plan, then we had the Ukraine-Russia war, and you know how that affects logistics. And in the third year, or mid-year, or midway, because it's a 5-year plan, we were supposed to undertake a midterm review. So when we undertook the midterm review, the government performance, in terms of the budget and expenditure, was over 90%. But the fiscal performance was at 17%. This is the number I was talking about. And while we had all those shocks, it was a little bit difficult to explain to people because what we do, MDAs and local governments send in through a platform their performance against the targets that we have all agreed upon as a government. So that performance was 17%. And while we had the account to explain COVID, the feedback wasn't a very good one.